right, today is Thursday, February 4th. Let's check our bell work. Again, please make sure you are getting the correct answers down. The first set, I ask you to calculate each product. That's just the result of a multiplication problem. Simplify when you can. So whenever it's possible, your answer should be simplified. Always give answers in simplest form. Right, we learned that using the area model, the shortcut strategy or the standard algorithm is just to multiply our numerators and multiply our denominators and then simplify when we can. So 1 times 3 is 3, and 9 times 7 is 63. Now when I look at 3 and 63, I know that there is a number that can go into both of those, and that number would be 3. So I'm going to divide them both by 3, and 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 63, so I'm going to take this one digit at a time. 3 goes into 6 twice. 3 goes into 3 once. So 1 over 21 is what you should have for simplest form. All right, number 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 times 3 is 15. There's not a number other than 1 that goes into 4 and 15, so you are all set. Number 3, 5 times 4 is 20, and 8 times 7 is 56. Now this is not simplest form. I know it's not simplest form because they're both even, and that means that at least 2 will go in, but there's a higher number that will go into both of those. It might not be as obvious, so you might have to divide by 2 and then divide by 2 again, which is fine, but 4 actually will go into both of these. So I'm going to divide 20 by 4 and 56 by 4. And 20 divided by 4 is 5. 56 divided by 4. So I'm going to take this one digit at a time, and we have a whole chapter on long division. So if you're like, what? Don't worry. 4 will go into this 5 one time with 1 left over. And I know 4 goes into 16 4 times. So 5/14 is what you should have for that one. For number 4, I have 1/9 times 8. And I learned in class that I could either add 1/9 8 times, or I could put a 1 underneath this 8, because isn't 8 over 1 the same value as just 8? This is like a little division problem, and 8 divided by 1 is 8. So now I can multiply across the top. 1 times 8 is 8, and 9 times 1 is 9, and get 8 9ths. And that makes sense, because if you added 1/9 8 times, you'd be repeatedly adding that 1 8 times. So 8 9ths, that's it. For number 5, I'm going to put that 1 underneath my whole number here. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 1 is 3. Now this one here, this is improper. So I want to write it in simplest form. That means I want to write it as a mixed number. So 3, 6, 9, I can fit 3 groups of 3 into the 10. And there's 1 left, and my denominator never changes. So 3 1/3 is what you should have. And for number 6, I'm going to go ahead and give this a denominator of 1 because it has the same value. 10 times 5 is 50, and 1 times 6 is 6. All right, now I have to ask myself, 6 times what will get me closest to 50? Because that will give me my whole number. So 6 times 8 is 48, and from 48 to 50, that's 2 left out of 6. And now I see, 2 6ths, both even, both divisible by 2. So for your final answer, you should have 8 1/3. And if you don't, fix it up. Make sure you do. Okay, for number 7, I wanted you to solve number 5 using a visual model. So number 5 says 2/3 times 5. All right, so this means that I have 2/3 of 5. So this 5 means 5 whole, right? So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole shapes. Now I want to do 2/3 of 5. So that means that I want 2/3 there, 2/3 there, 2/3 there, 2/3 there, and 2/3 there. Now when we see what we have left, I know that we have thirds, right? Each hole is cut up into thirds, so my denominator will be 3. And how many thirds are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 thirds are shaded. And you can see right here, that's what we got. And now we can shade this, or write this as a mixed number, which would be 3 1/3. And if you think about it, I could take these two pieces here and pop them in there. Okay, so pretend this is all empty. And then I can take one of these and pop it there. So that would mean I'd have 3 full shapes shaded and 1/3 of that, and the rest of those will be empty. So hopefully it makes sense. Now, this is gonna help us with our lesson for today. I ask you to write each fraction in simplest form. Getting really good at simplifying is gonna help you tremendously, especially when you're dealing with fractions. So the more you are fluent with your facts, the easier this will be. So never stop practicing. It's never too late. All right, for 10/90ths, the largest number that goes into both 10 and 90 is 10. So 10 divided by 10 is 1, 90 divided by 10 is 9, 1/9 is simplest form. In 4/18ths, the largest number that goes into both 4 and 18 is 2. So I'm going to divide them both by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, 18 divided by 2 is 9, and we are set. And then always ask yourself, just to make sure you chose the largest number, is there a number other than 1 that goes into both 2 and 9? No. And there's not a number other than 1 that goes into 1 and 9. So far, so good. For 6/21, 3 goes into both of those. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. 21 divided by 3 is 7. So 2/7 is what you should have. 14/35, those are both multiples of 7. So I'm going to divide them both by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2, and 35 divided by 7 is 5. So 2/5. 15/20, the largest number that divides into both is 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. And for 18/27, those are both multiples of 9. So let's try 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2, and 27 divided by 9 is 3. And again, if it took you a couple of tries, like if you tried to divide this by 3 to start, you're gonna get a fraction that you notice, oh, I can keep going with that one. So just keep going with it. If you don't find the largest one at first, it's not a big deal. Just make sure you're always asking yourself, is there a number other than 1 that will divide into both? And once you get to the point where you can say no, then you are good. All right, good luck today.